Hello. Can't wait for this. Adding my friend, the one and only Kate Walsh. We'll see how this goes. Hi. Hi, 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 hi.
Hey,
Oh.
are we live? Is it
We're
happening?
live. We're
Listen,
live. Now, question, glasses or no glasses?
I like the glasses. I'm gonna have mine on too. But I'll put them on. I'll take them off.
I'm just going to put them on to get a load of you. How cute. First of all, this haircut is so good.
Thank you.
And are you wearing overalls?
I am wearing overalls.
You look adorable. Good morning.
I going out. The older I get, I just keep putting jewelry and more things on. I'm like a decorated elder.
I have to tell you that, I have grown into a woman under not under your tutelage, alongside you, my good friend Kate Walsh. And you got me into jewelry. In fact, the first person who ever gave me diamonds was you. I am wearing an earring from you that has a tiny diamond. And yeah,
I still have your bracelet on.
do you?
The one you made for Fenner and everybody. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Are we live?
We're live.
Oh, okay, cool. I wish that. Okay, good. This is great. Hi, friend. You got Jess. Can you crank it up? I'm listening to your good. This is my song that I love to dance around the house too.
Really?
Like, it makes me so happy.
Oh my god.
So much.
Hi. That makes me very.
Turn it down. Thanks, Jess. I got Jess DJing in the background. I've got Jim here. Jim the cat. I played this song right when I got up in the morning because it's 7 a.m. We're in the future here in Australia. And I'm Kate Walsh, and that's Anya Marino. We're going to talk to you guys. First of all, thank you for joining us. Tell all your friends because you're going to want to hear this album, Asteroid, from Anya, her latest album. Anya and I have known each other for many years. Look at that. Look at how gorgeous she is. First of all, I'm always amazed at everything that you do because you're like, yeah, I'm going to go do a video shoot. I'm still kind of always amazed that you're a rock star. So Anya, we first met, how many years ago was it?
I was just thinking today, I think we're coming up on maybe 19, or it feels like 20, but no, it feels like.
So young. It's very difficult to understand. We met when we were babies.
Well, I thought it was 15, and then our good friend Liz Warner corrected me, and she's like, no, I think it's more like I might have met you in 2005 or something, which is crazy.
That sounds right, because I was on when I was doing Grey's Anatomy,
yeah.
Right? And were you still DJing in San Diego?
I was a DJ. I was dreaming about becoming a singer-songwriter. I had heard this new TV show, Grey's Anatomy. I was watching it, and I had never seen music used in that way before. Like, not only was I, of course, in love with the show and all the characters, and especially Addison, but I just thought, like, I thought it would be so cool to have no one was playing songs at that volume before. And this was like, not to age myself, but like really pre-Google. I remember typing into Yahoo, like typing lyrics in and being like, who sings this? And being like, who? Oh, Ingrid Michaelson. Like she was on the soundtrack to Grey's or something. And I just dreamt about having one of my songs in the show. And then one day, one of my very earliest songs that I had written, Miss Halfway, ended up in season 2, episode 2, with Meredith and
hold on, we call this to the Grey's fans and I'm going to say Grey's geeks, like you people that are totally obsessed, which I'm so grateful for because you made my life. This is like primo Grey's. This is like right when it first started. It was everyone was there. No one was killed off yet. No one left the building. Everybody was still like, oh my god, we're on a hit show. And Shonda she was that pioneer. And Alex, what's her last name? It's the long Greek name. Who is the music? Repeat that and I won't talk over it.
Alex. Patsavas changed my life,
She was
truly.
music supervisor on the show, and but really with the tutelage of Shonda, I would reckon that Shonda started that whole deal in television of really making using music, like seriously scoring, and making it another character in the show, really, you know,
Exactly.
done before that had not been done before, and it was like, oh my gosh. And breaking out musicians like you, like Snow Patrol, like Ingrid Michaelson, all these people that are like unbelievable, but people largely didn't know about. So it's really cool and exciting. But for me, I want to go back if people are just coming in. I hope that everybody tell your friends and come on to this thing because this is important. Um, but to talk about dreams coming true, like you were like, yeah, I'm DJing, but I really want you were already a musician, but you're like, I'd like to be a singer songwriter, and that's kind of what I want to do. And I remember when I was like, damn girl, it's so inspiring. You were just like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And you did it and you're doing it. And you've had many albums. And this is the latest, Asteroid, which I'm obsessed
Oh,
with.
I'm so glad you like it. I mean, it's cool to look back at your life and kind of go, oh, yeah, I did it. Everything made sense. But at the time, I was terrified. I had like us, at that moment, right before I got Grays, I was kind of broke, pretty broke. Someone had hit my car in the middle of the night, and I came out and like my passenger, or I had to crawl through the passenger side door to get into my car because I could no longer get into the driver's seat. I couldn't afford to fix the car. I was just like, and I was kind of trying to record music here and there around my work schedule. And I just remember thinking, if you really want to do this, just try it. Just because there are all these voices in my head, like, you can't, who do you think you are? You're not even really a musician. Like, I could barely write songs. But I went for it and I made this little CD and I sent it out to like 100 music supervisors. And this was a different time where, like, I don't know, somebody wrote me back and was like, yeah, your song's going to be in Grey's Anatomy. And I just could not believe it. And it radically changed my life. And by the way, when the time you're talking about, there was so much sexual chemistry on the show. So I was like horny all the time. Every time there was an episode, I was like, here we go. And that particular scene that used my song, I remember like Meredith was in the elevator with McDreamy. And she's like, I miss you. And then he comes right up to her neck and he's like, I can't. And then my song is like this. It's like right at that moment. It's like anyway, so then it starts and then there's like a whole montage of people dying and coding on the table.
I There are people dying or making
Making
love in
love
closet.
in the
Yes.
club.
So it's that's Shondaland, baby. It was really, I know. I was just like, who is this magical unicorn called Addison Montgomery Shepherd? There was like four more names in there that I've left out. Addison Adrian Forbes Montgomery Shepherd. That's what the full name was. And but she was sleeping with I was like, Jesus, this gal gets a lot of tail. I'm like, who is this magical unicorn that I've never met, I've never experienced in my life, that does all this crazy surgery and has like 6-inch heels, amazing wardrobe, and men are lining up for her. It was crazy. Um,
You had a little
that's just
more in you though.
like,
You
there's
had to.
somebody asked, I can't remember who it was because it scrolled up a little bit ago, will you ever tour in Australia?
Absolutely. I mean, I would love to tour in Australia. I have not yet
Wait,
made it.
hold on. Someone said, I thought you said hate when people said making love. I do hate it. I mean, I do. I just said it. I just broke my own rule. Someone's like, I thought you said, I don't know who was listening, but somebody's freaking
It
listening.
is
I know.
alarming. It is like if someone's like, do you want to make love? What do you say?
I still inwardly roll my eyes. I'm just like, but then what am I, 10? Like, I'm trying to grow up,
Okay.
okay? I'm trying to be like, I'm an older lady now. I'm an elder. So I'm trying to grow up rather than like, you don't want to be like, no, you want a bone? You're
Let's
married. You're married. That happened.
I got married last July in your backyard. in New York City, which was a magical day in my life. I never thought I'd be a professional musician, and I really truly never thought I'd get married. So, and I was never one of those girls that like pined for it. Were you?
Oh, I had a full wedding family. Yeah, like I was socialized from like the crib. Like I say, I was born with a 27-inch waist, and I was born. No, I do think that. Yeah, I was like, oh, I can't wait to get married someday. And
Yeah.
then yeah,
Well,
like
that's
the whole thing.
maybe I dreamt about like my Prince Charming because I had all that Disney so
Yeah.
brainwash. But I don't I guess I never was like I want to have a bunch of kids and I haven't had a bunch of kids. And I guess to bring it to kind of bring it back to this guy, if you're a childless cat lady, this album is
You could be in glitter. You could be a rock star. Yeah, I know. I'm also a child. Well, you know, I'm a childless cat lady. I did want a bevy of kids. Like but that I didn't get. As my brother Joe Walsh says, the better Walsh. He's like, I didn't get that dream. You didn't get that dream. But I got. Look at this guy. I got a cat walking through. Cue the cats. That's Jim. What? Oh,
we've
he's chasing
got three.
something. Anyway. Um. Okay, let's get to your album because I am obsessed and I love what I love about it is it's an album. Like I love listening to it. Jim, what are you doing? There's not even a bug there. He's just going nuts. I put on You're Okay this morning, like in bed, and the cats were there, and Jim like got up like a prairie dog. He was like, are the aliens like is the mothership back? I'm gonna start backwards. You're Okay. I love that because it's like got old school, it's like this it's like old school 70s 80s Space Invaders arcade vibes with the the intergalacticness of. First of all, I'm just going to apologize because I'm not a professional musician, so everything I say is going to sound maybe a little stupid, but
It's all
I really but You're Okay. I love it. I believe it, and it makes me feel like I'm okay because I often wake up in the mornings going, I don't think I am okay.
yeah.
But tell me about
That all started because so I'm in this songwriter group that I've probably told you about, and it's headed by this amazing songwriter Bob Schneider, who's in Austin, Texas. And about a year ago, I was feeling like I'm not writing as much as I want to be. And Matt, my husband, was like, "You got to rejoin your songwriting group." So I wrote to Bob like sheepishly because they are on a schedule like every week, a new prompt and a new song, and don't miss a week. And I bowed out of that
that.
ago. But I kind of sheepishly asked to be let back in, and he let me back. And you just start cranking out songs every week, and he sends weird prompts. Like, one week it was like "Where the Darkness Is," and that's a song on the album. The next week it was "You Are Good," like the letter U are good. So you can't write a song called "You're Good." It has to be "You Are Good." And I was like, how am I going to do that? Like, how am I going to make it clear that it's "You Are Good"? So if you listen to the song, there's a point in the chorus where it's like, "You are good." Yeah. So it sort of comes
Yeah,
across. But
that's it gives you literal verbatim prompts and then you write from there. I need to not have a songwriting group, but I need a writing group because I need someone to like,
me too.
yeah, anyway.
Me too. I'm not like, do you work well in a group? Because the reason that I do is because I need a deadline and I need to know I'm accountable to them. The cool thing about his group is there's no feedback, which is in a
Yeah,
way, some people get frustrated by that. Like they want to know, like, what did you think of my song? But he sort of has an unspoken rule, like, just turn it in and then move on.
but that's like very Rick Rubin. Do you know what he talks about in terms of like just do the work, do it. Don't start editing, don't start critiquing. Um, yeah, I'm at the place now where I'm writing and I'm just vomiting stuff up and I'm just like, oh my gosh. But
Wait,
okay, let me
dying for
yeah.
to do like a one woman show or a Kate Walsh or like a memoir. Can you give us a little
I want
hint?
like a memoir. I want to do yes. There's so much. I feel like there's so much that needs to be written. Do you know what I mean? I'm like I have an idea for a play, there's a movie, but I do need a group. I need to be accountable to someone and I also am so used to working collaboratively. Like this is much more enjoyable than me sitting by myself, do you
Fair.
know? Or even when I was doing stand up of like I want the audience, like I need another character to play with. But this isn't about me. Let's get back to you.
You're so-
Um, Asteroid. If you're just tuning in, this is an incredible album. And what I was starting to say before is that I listened to it top to bottom. I know we started with You're Good, but I love it because it's old school, like it used to be before you were streaming, before there was like I can pick and choose and have a playlist and like curated by an algorithm. You had albums and you listened to it from top to bottom, and that's it was very were you conscious of that when you made that of like I'm going to start with, Asteroid, I'm going to start then go to Nothing Lasts. Were you conscious of the order?
No, I wrote like 70 songs and then I narrowed it down over the years.
Back up, 70 songs.
I'm sorry, maybe it was like 52 because I think I did the group for a year. So there's somewhere around 50 to 70 songs in 2 years. And mind you, I had not, for anyone that's like, I could never do that, I had not written one song probably in 2020. In 2020, maybe I wrote one. I was very depressed about the pandemic. I was feeling lonely. I was really bummed out. And I was just like, maybe I don't write anymore. And I'm not into a lot of like this. I don't know. I didn't want to make something super boppy or like poppy or like I know I've written with people in Nashville. I kind of know how to write a pop song, but I don't gravitate toward that kind of music. So I was like, what if you just write something you want to hear, even if it seems totally antithetical to what's popular right now? And I just thought, like, I'm just going to write stuff totally from the heart. And the weird thing is, I tour with Nikki Glazer, one of my best friends, who, I open for her. She's a huge, Taylor Swift fan. So I've listened to a lot of Taylor Swift. And the cool thing about like absorbing things from here and there is I've been able to, you would never guess I'm influenced by Taylor Swift at all. But like some of the details and maybe the honesty that she was doing in her lyrics, I was like, why don't you be more revelatory about yourself? Why don't you like, write about what it was like growing up in the Bay Area and ice skating and the first time you ever learned about music and that one time you were in the car with your dad and he turned on the radio and was like, this is a waltz. Can you hear that beat? And it was a Tears for Fears song. And he was
Yeah,
counting.
I have that written down. That was in yeah, Nothing Lasts.
Yeah.
I love that. I remember that video, and I that was one of the first things you sent me on the album, and I was so moved by it. I didn't even know you were. I didn't remember that you were a figure skater when you were a kid, like kind of professional. First of all, I just got it. Hold on, I got a thing saying my Instagram limit is coming up in 5 minutes, so we may have to, which I'm
Oh,
panicked by
oh,
because I try to limit on the gram and then I ignore the limit and for the day.
yeah. Right.
Anyway, if we get cut off, we're coming back because I'm not done with you.
Okay.
But I love that. But that's the thing, these songs are also not just like the lyrics are incredible, but one of the things I feel like with this, with the even with like with Asteroid, the opposites. There's like these kind of laissez-faire melodies, almost like a Getz Gilberto
Yes.
kind of, you know,
Oh,
that vibe. And then like Spanish cocktail hour jazz, but then you're talking about and singing about these juxtaposed with these, self-work intergalactic existential musings that are so powerful. And I want to say, just to the point you were making of like I want to write something from the heart that's reflective of me, because I love all of your music.
oh,
But when I would see you live, still even like pre-pandemic, because then I was here in Australia, but when I'd see you in New York, and I'd be like, I love all your songs, but I want to hear what you're experiencing now. And so this is like, and it so resonates with me, this whole album, because it is looking back, it's nostalgic, it's existential, but it's still like the music, like there's, I mean, the musical arrangements. Talk to me about, I mean, I'm jumping around here, I know, but like Waiting for a Difference. Who did those musical arrangements? Are those you? Was that with you? Is that with the producer? Tell me about that.
that's such a good question. I'm glad you brought that one up because that's one of those where the prompt was, did you say Waiting for a Difference or Where
Yeah,
the Darkness Is? Oh, yeah.
Waiting for a Difference.
Waiting for a Difference was also the prompt for that song was in 4 years, which is it's like thanks a lot, Bob. In I have to put
Wait, what?
in the prompt was in 4 years. And so,
Okay.
so I was just like, and I was on a deadline and I didn't know how to put that in a song. And it was 2016. And we know what happened in 2016. But I was just like, in 4 years, how do I do that? And I need to hurry up. So I just was like, in 4 years, everything is different. The president has changed.
Yeah.
I heard you married and moved uptown, a second home in Maine. So it was kind of about this guy I was pining for. And I heard he was like in another relationship where he had moved on. And I was really thinking about like the passage of time in
Yeah.
these 4 years. And anyway, everything worked out, and hopefully everything will work out. I ended up marrying that guy. There is hope for the future. Um, but
I
yeah,
was wondering. That was still about Matt, hey? Yeah.
that
Okay.
was about.
I didn't know. Like, was that about? Okay. I'm like, but also, I don't need to know all the things. Okay, let's just, nothing last. We talked about that, but that I love. It's like got this nostalgia and this sort of ennui. The whole album has a bit of this ennui and nostalgia, but also this super sexy, like I don't want to say cheerful, but like this bright, like buoyant, like jazzy, and the music, that's what I mean. It's like this symphonic, this total just kind of plethora, this feast of different musical sounds that
Oh.
feels like, again, that contrast between the nostalgia and the lament or the ponderings, but still this moving, bright, I don't know. Let's talk about girl shit.
Can
Girl
you
shit.
Spotify pitches? Because when on Spotify they'll say like, "What mood is this? Energetic, happy, chill, romantic?" And I'm like, I don't know.
Oh my God.
I'm always
Algorithm, what mood it
text.
is, input, output.
Yeah,
It's so insane. I know. I feel like it's so hard to become a machine. I'm becoming a machine. I'm becoming mechanized. I'm like, do it. I remember like going, I'm never going to put a thing there. And I'm like, put the chip in. I'm so fucking tired.
yeah. I'm glad you brought up girl shit. That if anybody is a songwriter and never, oh, are we still good on time? Oh, we might be. I'm losing your sound. Uh-oh, I lost Kate's sound.
Like, are you there?
There you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
I do ignore the limit.
Oh,
Um, my Instagram limit. Girl shit. I listen to it over and over and over again. Again, the opposites of the music and the lyrics. It's an anthem. I recall the summer of 10th grade. Here's the thing, and it reminds me, it's got like a Virgin Suicides vibe to it. It just reminds me of like this cult of like super powerful
girls.
little men that are just like, I'll kill you. But like, and I love because you are so strong and determined. You're like the only person I know is like, I don't know, except, I don't know, I'm DJing and I'm gonna be, Nadia Dejani calls you a pocket pal because you're very petite and tiny, but you're so fierce and strong. I'm like obvious. I'm giant. I'm like if you saw an alligator wrestling someone, they tell like a crocodile flip someone in the water over and over to kill them. Like I'm obvious. I'm strong. I'm tall. You wouldn't get to a tender underbelly except for when you slowed me down and saw like, oh, she's got a softer reptilian belly, but she's still killing that human. You, you're so. But this song, girl shit. This is like, it's so. Tell me about it because I can't stop listening to it. I feel like it's an anthem of. So tell me.
That, first of all, thank you. I love Virgin Suicides. I love the images you brought up, and you are so hilarious, and you need to write all this in the book. Um, Girl Shit is a weird melody. I think I start with melodies a lot, like that. Almost like
Yeah.
but the prompt that week for my group was Girl Shit. And I kind of liked juxtaposing those two things, like, and almost like, I don't know, Chopin-esque or Bach-esque um, denouement or whatever that is with something sort of colloquial like girl shit. And then I was thinking about, typical girl shit. What is typical girl shit? And remembering a real thing that happened to me in high school where in trying to be popular, I was kind of playing both sides of something, and these girls sort of called me on it, and it was humiliating and embarrassing, and I will never forget it. Um, and you know, and
God,
then
it's so hard. It's so hard. High school.
but then
Jeez.
I was thinking about how, you know, that was sort of like I wanted to talk about how strong women are and how amazing women are, and um, just I've seen so many close girlfriends really succeed in such huge ways, whether it's like having a child and raising a kid and it's just like, oh, no big deal, or like having these incredible careers and being so creative. And you know, like you, like truly before I met you, I mean, we didn't get to our origin story, but like
Oh
I
yeah.
was a big work long before I met you. And you know, to like Nikki, just like killing it. And I've known Nikki since before she had a TV show. So kind of being floored by women, and really not just women, but anyone who's ever been bullied or been through a tough relationship, and how I wanted to use that phrase, like typical girl shit, in a way where there's like a little bit of irony or like a wink, like, oh, no big deal. We just have spines of steel. You know, no big deal. We're just out here killing it. And because I think women are expected to just act like everything's so easy, and it's like no big deal. Like my friend just had a baby, and someone made a comment to her within 48 hours of having the baby, don't feel like you have to hurry to bounce back or anything, like with your body. And she's like, I wasn't thinking about that, but like, can you, that's like so much insane pressure. So I just was really honoring women in that song. And
Yeah.
I'm
But
glad
I
you like.
love uh you know the scales, the sort of you're talking about that like the classic sort of da 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 da, but it's also got that lament in it, and it's like this haunting vibe.
Oh
That
good.
that's what it reminds me, like the Virgin Suicides, of just like this pack of girls just like moving in slow motion, like these angelic. Wait, is it still recording? Because comments have frozen, so I want to
Oh
make sure
yeah,
it's still going.
I see comments still.
Okay,
Someone just liked an
I don't
Olivia Rodrigo song, and I
done
do.
with. I don't know. Mine froze at "I love you, Kate," which is super cool. That's what I needed. So long as that's where it's at. Okay, the other one, oh, okay. This I loved too, where the darkness is. It's all in your head. It's all in your mind. And again, the retro outer space element. I love the crescendo there. And I'll meet you there in all the dark places. Just can you just talk about that for a minute?
Yeah. A friend of mine was having a rough day. Sometimes when I don't have any inspiration in my own life, I'll steal from friends. And she was having a very rough time. And of course, as an outsider, you can see like it's going to be okay for that person. But when you're in it, it just feels like there's absolutely no way out. And how can things ever be better than this right now? So I was kind of trying to write a song for her. Um, and then I realized like there's a line in the song, where the darkness is, I'll see you where the I'll be there where the darkness lives. I need it. There's some line like that. Like not
Yeah,
only do I, but I need it. I need it for me. Like I need to hear your mess, or like what's going on with you that's hard to share, because that reminds me that I'm not alone. So
yeah.
that
We talk about that stuff a lot.
yeah.
Like that is key. Like we didn't have that, but I love that you're like, I'll meet you there. Like I'll rather than oh get out of there.
Right.
Um,
And it's like, I don't know. I'm glad you brought that song up, because sometimes I have self-doubt. Like, is that too cheesy of a thing to say at the end? Like, it's all in your head, it's all in your mind. But I don't know. I need to hear things like that. And the producer, Kevin Salem, he created this really cool, swirly, almost carnival-like sound effect at the end. And I was like, that's what I want, because that's how my mind feels sometimes when I'm so stuck in there. Like, I'm so myopic when I'm feeling negative or like hopeless. It's really
yeah,
about that. Like, not only like is it gonna be okay, but it's like I need this darkness. If I didn't have this darkness, I wouldn't have even made this album. I probably wouldn't have half the friends I have.
well, yeah, yeah. I'm like a total comfort hound too, and but I understand intellectually that one must suffer, or like, or like the darkness or the pain is necessary. But I no, I don't like it. I'm just like I just want to feel good all the time.
Me,
But going on to that, the musical, like I loved in Give Me Sugar, or not Give Me, it's Give Me Sugar. Give Me Sugar. Hi. I feel like that's a Karen moment. Poor Karen. Whoever is called actually named Karen, I'm sorry that your name has been co-opted
I
to mean
know.
like the fucking like terrible white lady ever in the world. Okay, Give Me Sugar. I love this because first of all, it's like a New Orleans dirge, or like if a drunk came to life and was personified, and the driving electric guitar.
Oh my,
Like, tell me about that. I just
that song, I could not get it right. I couldn't get it right. I wrote it in 2016 and it was super slow. And then I recorded it in a studio in like 2021 and it was like too fast and like it was fun, but it like kind of came out like a little saloony with the piano and I was like, I don't know how to do this song and I just really want to do it. And I thought, just forget it, just put it to the side. But it kept kind of like tapping me on the shoulder and I kept picturing like how do I how do I write a song about addiction in a way that's like visual? And I kept seeing these two kind of like junkies in Washington Square Park, but like fun junkies, like
they were this
fun.
was like pre-COVID, the benevolent junkies that were like, yeah, these guys do drugs and play checkers. It wasn't anything. I could still walk my dog and say hello to them every day. Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe not junkies, but just people who are a little down and out and just need a little fix. Because I need a little fix, whether it's like chocolate or a romance or a crush or um, what's the serotonin? Like I need a little fix, you know? So this Give Me Sugar song is really about that. Like give it to me. It's like about that sort of perpetual
I
quest that I
I'm trying to be more of a tortoise and less of a hare, but I really am a sprinter. I'm like, come on, where's the fix?
give it
Come
to.
on. Like, yeah. And but I love that about being an artist. I think that's also that's part of like the thing we've talked about this I think before, but the thing that can be, it's like the character asset or a character defect. It's like it's the same, it's two sides of the same coin. Like the thing that can be an addiction is also the source of creation.
Yeah.
Like that irritability and that desire and that hunger and that. So I loved it. I mean, of course I identify with it. But also literally. And also, I know you like sweets, so there's that too. So I loved it. Okay, sunshine, shadow, or shadow, sunshine or shadow.
Oh
Can
yeah.
we? I mean, can you talk about that? I love that. I know we're going over, but I can't even see because mine has frozen, but it's still recording, right? Because my screen is frozen with comments
I
and shit. But it's
believe
okay.
so. I think it's good. I think we're still live. I see
Okay.
people seem to see your cats. I
Oh,
will
yeah,
say on
Rico, they're going.
that
Okay.
Evan Salem, the producer, he just absolutely nailed that electric guitar part, and that's what did it for me. It was like this very John Lennon-esque White Album guitar tone, and I'm like, that's it. That's
In
the thing that's
in
in.
Give Me Sugar, right?
Yes.
Yeah. 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 No, that was incredible. And that was a new, I feel like that's kind of a new sound that I heard for you too, right?
Yeah.
It was
Kevin's a Beatles lover too. So we really saw eye to eye there, and I felt like he just totally read my mind. It's so nice to work with somebody that really gets you. And the thing that sold me on Kevin was he heard my bedroom demos, and he was like,
yeah,
"These are really special. Let's preserve the spirit of these bedroom demos in the fully orchestrated thing." And I think I am going to release an album of the bedroom demos too soon, like as a companion piece. So that'll be cool.
cool.
Yeah.
That's what
But
I'm saying. You have
Sunshine Shadow is one of
like
my,
high output. Sunshine and or shadow.
yes, that one, that's really close to the heart. Um, how did that one even come? I don't know, but it's kind of about growing up in the Bay Area a little bit. And it's really You know, the line is from Danny Boy, the traditional poem, which is, what do you call it when something's free for all? I forgot the phrase, but it's
Oh,
like, what is that
public
called?
domain.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. Okay.
So there's a line, and you know, something about like, oh, in Danny Boy, in sunshine or shadow, and I forget the rest of the line. But I love that idea. It's again about like where the darkness is, I'll be there no matter what. Like I'll be by your side in the good times and the bad times. So it's really about loyalty and like sticking with someone, even when they might be angry with you,
Yeah.
is that one.
That's I loved it for me too, just personally. So many of the songs on the album, like Monterey, all the references that what is it, the 280 we were talking about, you know, with your in Nothing Lasts. It's like it's just there for me. It's sort of like when I was little and I read John Steinbeck for the first time. And I was like, oh, he's writing about where I live in California. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I love that place. And so there's a familiarity there that personally I just love. But it's not just in the micro of me having grown up in San Jose too for part of my life, but it's that micro that translates to the macro. It's the nostalgia, it's the specificity of memory, and there's a lot of memory playing and a lot of pondering on this that I just love. Again, juxtaposed with like the existential with this, the music that whether it's the grinding guitar or this sort of jazzy or yeah.
Oh,
Okay, you're good. We talked about that. I love the whole retro space sound. It's like there's
that was that was
yeah nostalgia,
a
huh?
joke. That was going to just be a joke song. Like I kind of wrote it as not a joke, but I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm just doing something on a synth. And I sent it to some friends, and then they were like, we love this. And I kept thinking, I can't put this on my album. It's like a weird disco, or like it's just like a weird computer synth song. And we did, we kept it. And I just it kept growing on me. And I was like, this is a sweet, sad song about a droid on a planet far, far away that
I
finds
know.
an old
Makes me
smart.
it
Like,
feel good song, and it also has a good beat, and you can dance to it. It's like my dance song.
yes.
Um, I'm excited for everyone to hear this. Okay, beautiful and stoned. Again, you get this burlesque cabaret vibe. You know. Okay, is that sunny all the time? Forget about the crime. That's L.A., right?
Yes. I was wondering because that's really about LA versus New York, and I'm
Yeah,
from California. You grew up in California. Um, well, you spent a good part of your life in California. And
in Arizona.
it's sort of like an answer to people that say, like, why don't you move back to LA or why don't you live in LA? But at the same time, it's about the world and like it was written during a weekend where I was staying in this beautiful home in the hills of in the valley really, and I would walk down every morning, walk down to Ventura, and I would go to this coffee shop and I would see this unhoused woman who was the happiest woman I would see all weekend. And I saw like a multi-millionaire famous celebrity that weekend. I saw another very wealthy person that weekend. I walked by all these homes that were immaculate. And then like the happiest person I saw was this, you know, homeless woman that had like dirt on her face, but she just always had the biggest smile. And I would see her every morning. And it just really struck me like the disparity in this country of like where we're at. So there's that
Yeah,
happening. And then there's also like really just weighing LA versus New York and how happy I love California and I will always love it, like the sweet smell of the jasmine, the foliage, the air.
yeah,
I miss it.
yeah.
And then, you know, I also love like walking down Waverly in New York City in the winter. And it's just like, it's such a magical place. And I feel so at home here too. So it's really, it's kind of a love song to both places with a
I
little,
know I love Waverly. That's my hood.
yeah.
Um, and then lastly, well, London Blues. Oh
Oh,
my
yeah, that one.
God. Ever since I learned that love could be forsaken, I've been letting go of anything worth taking.
Word.
Me too. Trust issues. um, but
Anyone, Anyone else? I mean, majorly. Thank you for understanding. That was a tough one for me to write, but I was like, just, you got to do it. You got to put it out there. That's why this album feels the most, I don't know, I feel so happy about it. Because I feel like
It's very
I went
really
there and
personal,
yeah.
and but it's also like it's amazing. It's so you. Like it's I mean it's everything I wanted for you, Anya. But
Oh,
it's like it feels very authentic and just interesting musically too. Like just really like this very like symphonic and diverse kind of musical album. It's got I just love it.
oh,
Yeah.
so much. Everyone get it. I have it on vinyl.
Asteroid. I know we got to wrap this shit up because I got to get on with my mental health care professional in 15 minutes. And I have to leave before that.
I
Um,
love you and I love all of you for tuning in. I just feel so lucky to know you, my lady, and that a music lover such as yourself, and you're a true music lover, like, and you
yes.
love it all. The fact that it spoke to you, and the fact that I mean, these are such thoughtful questions. That means a lot to me. I feel lucky to be on your playlist and on
Well,
your.
you say that. I wanted to do this because I was so moved because you sent me a preview of the album, a little sneak listen, and I was listening to it as I drove up to um, my guy's farm. It was just a 2 hour and 15-minute ride. And I just was listening and listening. And it was so transporting and incredible. And that's why I keep mentioning it like an album, because I did listen to it from top to bottom. And I was obsessed. And I thought, and I mentioned, I was like, I really love, we should do an interview. Like, I want to talk to you about it because it's so cool. And so much of it, like, I mean, I know you still release singles, and so many things are like, we're just releasing this or we're releasing that song, or this one's coming out today. And there's such a lot of different ways to experience music now. But it's really, really special. And again, I'm a neophyte when it comes to actually articulating, I'm not in I'm not in the music business, but I love it as just a labor. And I do love music. It's one of the things I'm super grateful for, how I was raised with my mom is everything from opera to R&B to country to, I feel very grateful for that. So, and I'm grateful for you, babe.
I'm grateful for you, my love.
Hold on. Are there any questions coming in before we wrap this up? Before I go into
Somebody wanted.
Zoom therapy? My screen is frozen with I love you, Kate, from Kate.edits with a ZS, which is awesome because I love that. But
Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo. Someone wanted to know which Olivia song I like. And we're just getting a lot of compliments and they're saying more Kate live streams, please.
oh,
Um,
cute.
how's Andy? How are the
Andy,
cats?
he's great. Cats are great.
How do you like your steak cooked? Someone asked that. Where did you get your
Oh,
necklace?
yeah. No, medium rare. I saw that float by. I was like, interesting, medium rare.
We
Uh,
went out.
Somebody's sending me a steak. That would be weird. Steak by
Oh
mail.
yeah.
Somebody wants to cook some meat.
Who are you wearing?
What's that?
Who are you wearing?
Oh, this?
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
got this really cool. Is it Lisu? It's this London designer.
It's Lisa.
Lisu.
Arms,
Right, guys?
serious arms.
That's all right. J'adore. I love you.
I love you too.
Go
Thank you guys so
get Asteroid, and we'll edit this. This is good. We're gonna put some kind of version of this on TikTok too for you crazy kids.
much. Thank you,
All right.
legend. I love you.
I love
Bye.
you. Okay, bye.
Tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.